Yes, there's more of a challenge there. It's more interesting to me and maybe to a lot of women, I don't know, because American men are kind of too easy to mold.
A shocking revelation surfaced about Paul Hogan, the big star from Crocodile Dundee. His life has taken a dramatic and difficult turn, far removed from his glory days in the movies. Fame can be really tough, and now he's caught up in some serious trouble that's brought him back into the spotlight. What shocking secrets are hidden behind Hogan's recent troubles? Let us dive into the mystery of what happens when fame fades away. The real lives of Crocodile Dundee stars. Life in the spotlight might seem glamorous, but as the saying goes, not everything that shines is gold. This couldn't be truer for people like Paul Hogan, the actor who became famous for his role in Crocodile Dundee. While his on-screen character was tough and charming, his real life has had its share of ups and downs, with recent events bringing him back into the public eye for less than ideal reasons. As we look at his journey, it's clear that things were much more complicated behind the scenes than they seemed. Little did anyone know, on that fateful evening, when the cameras stopped rolling, a shocking truth about Paul Hogan's past was about to surface, threatening to tarnish his legacy forever. To fully understand his recent struggles, it helps to also take a look at the life of his former wife and Crocodile Dundee co-star, Linda Kozlowski. She played Sue Charlton in the films, a role that brought her a lot of attention, just like him. But Kozlowski, like many actors, had bigger dreams for her career. After the success of the Crocodile Dundee films, she tried to branch out and take on new roles. She appeared in movies like Pass the Ammo in 1988 and Almost an Angel in 1990, where she starred alongside him again. Other films she acted in included The Neighbor in 1993, Backstreet Justice in 1994, and Village of the Damned in 1995. She also made some appearances on TV, such as in Favorite Son in 1988 and Shawnee in 1996. Even with her efforts, things didn't go as smoothly for Kozlowski as she had hoped. After her breakout role in Crocodile Dundee, she found herself stuck playing the same kind of characters over and over again. Despite having trained at Juilliard, one of the best acting schools in the world, she couldn't seem to escape the typecasting. She was often offered roles as the love interest or girlfriend, characters that didn't really allow her to show her full range as an actress. This was a far cry from what she imagined her career would be. In 1998, Kozlowski and he had a child, and her focus shifted. She decided to take a step back from her acting career to focus on raising their son. While she did return to the screen briefly for the third Crocodile Dundee movie in 2001, that would be the last film she appeared in. She became frustrated with Hollywood, particularly with the limited roles available to her, and eventually chose to retire from acting. The repetitive roles and constant pressure from the industry caused her a lot of stress. Over time, this pressure began to take a toll on her health, even leading her to develop an ulcer. But this wasn't the worst part. The real struggle came when Kozlowski realized she wasn't happy in Hollywood anymore. She had grown tired of auditioning for low-budget films that didn't offer her the creative satisfaction she craved. The harsh nature of the industry made her decide to prioritize her health and happiness over her career. However, she left the door open to acting again someday, if the right project came along, something that would give her a chance to express herself creatively. Her decision to leave acting also led to changes in her personal life. In 2017, Kozlowski married Moulay Hafid Baba, a Moroccan businessman. The two had met several years earlier when Kozlowski was in Morocco for a business deal. What began as a professional connection soon turned into a romantic relationship. They found they had a lot in common and complemented each other well. Baba had a deep understanding of Moroccan culture, while Kozlowski had a taste for luxury and fine living. Linda's success extends beyond business into her personal growth, from Fairfield to fame. Their partnership wasn't just successful in business, it also strengthened their personal relationship. Kozlowski often spoke about the deep bond she shared with Baba and how much joy their life together brought her. But Kozlowski's story isn't just about her career. Financially, she has also done quite well. Thanks to her work in the Crocodile Dundee series, her net worth is estimated to be around $10 million. After her divorce from him, she purchased a $2 million home in Venice Beach, California, where she continues to live a comfortable life. Although she's no longer in the spotlight, Kozlowski has clearly created a life that brings her happiness and fulfillment. But even this level of comfort didn't come without struggles. Kozlowski's journey from her small-town upbringing in Fairfield, Connecticut, to stardom in the Crocodile Dundee series, and finally to her quieter life in Morocco, wasn't a straight path. She faced a lot of challenges along the way, from career frustrations to personal hardships. Yet through it all, she remained true to herself and what made her happy. Her early decision to attend Juilliard and pursue a career in acting was bold, especially for someone from a small town. And even though her Hollywood career didn't turn out exactly as she planned, he has no regrets about her journey. She found that sometimes stepping away from the pressures of success is the best way to find true happiness. Kozlowski's story is a reminder that life isn't always about chasing the next big thing. It's about finding what brings you joy and fulfillment, even if that means making difficult choices along the way. Her journey reflects the importance of prioritizing personal well-being over fame or career success. While she may no longer be acting, Kozlowski's life is filled with new passions and purpose. Through all the ups and downs, she has built a life she loves, one where she can focus on her health, happiness, and meaningful relationships. In the end, that's a success that shines brighter than any Hollywood spotlight ever could. After finishing her studies at Juilliard, Linda Kozlowski quickly started making a name for herself in the acting world. She trained at one of the best performing arts schools in the world, and it clearly showed in her early work. In 1981, she made her debut in an off-Broadway play called How It All Began. This was her chance to show what she could do, and she impressed a lot of people with her talent. It was just the beginning for her. Her hard work paid off, and soon she moved on to bigger stages, including Broadway itself, which was a big deal for someone so early in her career. Linda got a role in the Broadway revival of Arthur Miller's famous play, Death of a Salesman. She played the character Miss Forsyth, and while her role wasn't the biggest, it was important. Her performance in the play earned her positive reviews, and soon film producers began to notice her. The following year, she was asked to play the same role in the movie version of Death of a Salesman, which marked her debut in film. Switching from stage to screen isn't always easy, but Linda made the transition smoothly. She brought the same depth and intensity to her film performance as she had on stage, showing that she could handle both theater and movies. Linda's rise to stardom is filled with exciting challenges, from Outback Adventures to Hollywood Lights. In 1986, she landed the role of Sue Charlton in the Australian movie Crocodile Dundee. This was a massive opportunity for her. She played a journalist who goes on an adventure in the Australian outback with the unforgettable Mick Crocodile Dundee, played by Paul Hogan. The film became a huge hit, earning over $300 million worldwide. Linda's performance as Sue captivated audiences everywhere. She had a great connection with him, and their chemistry made the on-screen romance feel real. Linda's character started out as a skeptical city girl, but as the movie went on, she was charmed by Dundee's rugged personality and the beautiful Australian landscape. The success of Crocodile Dundee was a turning point in Linda's career. Suddenly, she was a Hollywood star. Her natural talent and on-screen presence made her stand out, and the film's popularity opened many doors for her. She showed she could balance both comedy and drama effortlessly, making people laugh while also delivering emotional and romantic moments. Her role as Sue Charlton was more than just a romantic interest. She gave the character depth, helping to make the movie more than just a simple love story. But her on-screen success was just part of the story. Behind the scenes, Linda and Hogan's relationship also began to grow. Their chemistry in the movie was no act. They became a couple in real life, which only added to the interest surrounding them. Fans were fascinated by their off-screen romance, and this gave their performances an added layer of authenticity. However, filming in the Australian outback came with its own challenges. The harsh conditions of the rugged landscape made shooting difficult, but Linda handled it all with grace. She performed many of her own stunts and even worked with real crocodiles, which made her performance feel even more real. But this wasn't the toughest part. Along with the demanding filming conditions, adjusting to the sudden fame that came with the success of Crocodile Dundee was a new challenge for Linda. The movie became a global hit, and Linda found herself in the spotlight with all the attention that comes with being a star. Her performance was so well received that she even earned a Golden Globe nomination, which was a huge recognition of her talent. However, the fame and attention weren't always easy to deal with, and Linda had to learn how to navigate this new level of public scrutiny. After the success of the first movie, Linda returned for the sequels Crocodile Dundee II in 1988 and Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles in 2001. While the sequels didn't reach the same level of critical praise as the original, they still did well at the box office. Audiences loved seeing Linda return as Sue Charlton, and her performances were once again one of the highlights of the films. Sue remained a beloved character, and Linda continued to bring her signature mix of humor and emotion to the role. But even with her success in the Crocodile Dundee films, Linda started to pull away from acting in the years that followed. She has spoken openly about her struggles with finding the right balance between her career and her personal life. As she got older, Linda found that Hollywood wasn't offering her the kinds of roles she wanted. Like many actresses, she felt frustrated by the way the film industry often limits opportunities for women after a certain age. This, combined with her desire to focus on her family, led Linda to step back from acting. Life in Hollywood brings both joy and struggles to Linda's personal life, beyond the spotlight. Still, the hardest part wasn't just the lack of roles, it was also about finding happiness outside of Hollywood. In 1990, Linda married him, and they had a son together, Chance Hogan. However, after 24 years of marriage, the couple divorced in 2014. Even though they went their separate ways, Linda has said that her focus remained on creating a fulfilling life outside of the spotlight. Despite stepping away from the film industry, Linda's impact on Hollywood is undeniable. Her role in Crocodile Dundee continues to be remembered as one of the most iconic performances in film history. She brought a unique warmth and intelligence to the character of Sue Charlton, and her work in that film is still beloved by fans today. While her acting career was shorter than many of her peers, the legacy she left through her role in the Crocodile Dundee films remains strong. He, known for his iconic role in Crocodile Dundee, starred in a range of films throughout his career. However, none of them matched the success and fame he earned with his portrayal of the rugged Australian bushman, Mick Dundee. Despite ups and downs in his Hollywood career, Hogan's charm and humor kept him popular with fans, leaving a lasting mark on the entertainment world. Over the years, Hogan was celebrated for his work and contributions, especially to Australian culture and tourism. In recognition of his impact, he received several honors. Among these, he was named Australian of the Year in 1985, followed by the Order of Australia in 1986. His role in Crocodile Dundee earned him a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy in 1987. In addition, he won numerous Logie Awards, which are Australia's version of the Emmys. He even received the Longford Lyell Award in 2016, honoring his outstanding contributions to the Australian film industry. One of the reasons he became such a beloved figure is his portrayal of Mick Dundee. This character, a tough and charming bushman with survival skills and a talent for wielding a knife, became a symbol of Australian masculinity. His famous line from the film, "This is not a knife, this is a knife," quickly became part of popular culture, quoted and remembered by fans around the world. His easygoing style, mixed with his humor and unique Australian spirit, helped him connect with audiences everywhere. His ability to capture the essence of Australia and share it through his character made him stand out and remain relevant for many years. But this wasn't the only thing that made his life interesting. His romance with Linda Kozlowski, who starred alongside him in Crocodile Dundee, became another focal point of his life. Their on-screen chemistry blossomed into a real-life relationship that fascinated the public. When they met, he was still married to his first wife, Noeline Edwards, with whom he had 5 children. However, as his relationship with Kozlowski grew stronger, his marriage with Edwards ended. Eventually, he married Kozlowski in 1990, and the couple had a son together named Chance. Their marriage was highly publicized, as many people were curious about their personal lives. Hogan's ex-wife, Noeline, was particularly outspoken about the relationship, which only added to the media attention. Despite all of this, Hogan and Kozlowski stayed together for 23 years before separating in 2013. Their divorce attracted a lot of media attention, partly because of the financial aspects involved. Hogan kept the rights to the Crocodile Dundee character and his film company, while Kozlowski received a generous financial settlement. They agreed to share custody of their son and managed to keep their relationship friendly, often meeting for dinner and staying in touch after the divorce. We return to the role that made Hogan famous and changed his life: Mick Dundee's journey. Now let's go back to what made Hogan famous in the first place. His role in Crocodile Dundee. The movie, released in 1986, introduced the world to Mick Dundee, a crocodile hunter living in the vast and rugged Australian outback. When an American journalist named Sue Charlton, played by Kozlowski, travels to Australia to write about Dundee, she brings him back to New York City, where the adventure continues. The film follows Dundee as he navigates the challenges of city life, using his wilderness skills and charm to get by. Hogan's portrayal of Dundee, a man from a simple background who finds himself in the complicated world of New York, made the film a huge hit. What made Crocodile Dundee stand out wasn't just its humor, but also how it showed the contrast between the wild Australian outback and the busy modern life of New York City. Mick Dundee, with his laid-back personality and survival instincts, brought a fresh and interesting perspective to the city, highlighting the differences between these two worlds. His ability to adapt, even in the face of urban challenges, made him a character people could root for. The movie also painted a picture of Australia as a land full of adventure and beauty, further enhancing its appeal to global audiences. But, as is often the case, success led to sequels that didn't quite live up to the original. Crocodile Dundee 2, released in 1988, continued the story of Mick and Sue. In this sequel, the couple's quiet life is interrupted when a crime lord targets Sue, and Mick has to use his bushman skills to save her. While the film still had some entertaining moments, critics felt it lacked the freshness and humor of the first movie. The focus shifted more toward action, and though it did well at the box office, it didn't have the same lasting impact as the original. And then came the third film, Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, released in 2001. By this time, the magic of the character had started to wear off. The jokes felt repetitive, and the plot didn't offer anything new. Mick Dundee's once charming personality seemed to have lost its shine, and the audiences were less engaged. The movie performed poorly, and critics weren't impressed either. It became clear that the series had run its course. Still, despite the disappointing sequels, Paul Hogan's legacy as an iconic figure in entertainment remains strong. His portrayal of Mick Dundee continues to be remembered fondly, not only because it introduced the world to a unique character, but also because it helped put Australia on the global map in a new way. Hogan's sense of humor, charm, and ability to bring a bit of Australian culture to the world made him a beloved actor. But even with his career slowing down, Hogan's impact is undeniable. His work, especially in Crocodile Dundee, still resonates with fans, and his influence on the Australian film industry is significant. He has become a symbol of a particular type of Australian identity, one that's adventurous, tough, but also warm and funny. And even though his later films didn't have the same success, Hogan's place in the entertainment world remains secure. His career, filled with highs and lows, shows that sometimes one character, played just right, can leave a lasting impression. What do you think is Paul Hogan's most defining legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more discussions.